Yara Joseph Wemakor, good morning and welcome to Globe TV, sir.
Good morning, and good morning to all your viewers and listeners, and thanks for having me. Unfortunately, I cannot speak the tree, so I prefer to go in English. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this morning, the question we are asking is quite simple. But before we get to that, we heard of your award, an award you earned quite recently. Can you tell us about it?
Wow, Globe TV, I love you because you do things right. You are serious broadcasting station, TV station. So we picked up the 5th Global Entrance Award, putting Ghana on the map, the flag of Ghana high on the map. We were the only organization from Ghana, for that matter, West Africa. We represent Ghana at that level, global level. And the Global NCREPS Award was given by the NCREPS, International Board of Global Actors and Business for Sustainability, supported by 10,000 global jurors in partnership with the UN. It is a collaboration of UN, World Bank, and European Union who came out with this award. And our KTT project, sensitization on kidnapping, teenage pregnancy, tramadol abuse. We did this project in 2019. That was when we were established, and I formed and led the initiative. And we were in communities educating people. At that time, issues of kidnapping was a topical issue. And we added teenage pregnancy, trauma, which are also social issues that we were confronted with. And we were in community churches and schools within 3 regions. And in the end, I think over 60,000 population were reached. And the momentum was great. We received a lot of feedbacks. Finally, this award was, we were shortlisted in 2020. Can you imagine? It took 4 solid years before our declaration today. And it's a victory. And God is a factor, despite our hard work. And I commend this thing up. You want to throw light on that's commendable.
Right. So kudos to that achievement. We shall find time and delve deeper into this particular award scheme. But then,
time for us to talk about them.
But then, so far as your office is concerned, Human Rights Reporters Ghana.
Yes, please.
What are you doing? Have you heard, first and foremost, about bullying ongoing in our schools in Ghana?
Yes.
Have you heard about it?
Very well. I wasn't in the country, but when I arrived, I was greeted with this sad news. And when I watched the video footage, wow, it breaks my heart. And that tells you that this is a flagrant disrespect, abuse of human rights. And we condemn it in no uncertain terms. You see, earlier on ago, we've been shedding light on issues of violence, corporal punishment in schools and all that. The famous Anoye J saga, we brought it to light, but it's never gotten the kind of attention that this one gotten. That particular issue was teachers, about 17 teachers, beating final year students at Jomoro municipality, the Anoye J, the western region. Although the media carried out, it generated media attention, but the attention that the GS and the Ministry of Health has attached wasn't just remarkable. Why is it that a student has done this to another one, which is condemnable? And all of a sudden they are taking this action when teachers have done it. Anyway, that is just aside, but we condemn this in no uncertain terms. We wouldn't want to see this, and we will continue to talk against it. The action they have taken is okay. They should continue.
Okay, so on this regard, I wanted to know if you are aware about bullying in schools in Ghana, from the basic school to the tertiary level, training colleges like the teacher training colleges, nursing training colleges, and senior high schools in Ghana, as well as some basic schools with boarding houses, where you see an individual or a student who call himself a senior, and will look down on a first year student and go to the extent of violating, physically abusing the rights of their juniors. Have you heard about this? And what have you done about it so far?
This is an age-old issue that has been going on. And you see the way the authorities are handling these issues, that's why it keeps happening. Bullying and harassment in school is a topical issue, and it has been there long way back. Even during our time in schools, we witnessed all this. But then now there's a ban in corporal punishment. We thought, after all, that would cause it to cease. But it's been happening because the teachers themselves are harassing the students. They are assaulting them. This particular one, in the case of the infamous J saga, we saw what has happened. Students were caned, brutally assaulted. Some of them even collapsed. They took them to hospital, they treated them and all that. But when it happens like this, and the punishment, there's no punishment to deter people, the students are also watching. And you see, this thing, we can also talk about it. Our homes, our communities. What do we see? Parents, domestic violence at homes. People bullying people, harassing people through emotional abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse. So they go through all kinds of things. And children in homes, in communities, are witness to all this. Sometimes the movies that they watch, the kind of movies that they watch, violence in movies, you could see that in that video, the gentleman, the way he grabbed his junior, as if it was a movie, the action movie that we are watching. You can see that he's demonstrating that skill. Probably he might have been watching action movies at home, or that's what he's practicing. And what even shocked was that the colleagues were watching and was cheering at him. Instead of bystanders coming in to rescue the boy and settle that, if they had moved in at the right time, he wouldn't have used the genius head to hit the metal bed. And that would have saved the situation. That they turned towards spectators, and they were enjoying the show and even recording it. After all, they leaked it. If this goes on, had it not been social media at first, who would have known that this thing has happened? Because what we know, it happened, I think, last month, but it was hidden until somebody shared a video out. That was what prompted the public, the attention, and then the authorities are now responding to take action. Has it not been that it has been leaked or it has been videotaped? Who would have known that such a thing has happened? It would have been buried. So what has the school authorities done when the thing happened? Has the boy also reported the issue? These are questions that we should be asking. Okay?
Yeah.
So this particular case should serve as a case study or a reference point for us to know that these things are happening. The authorities should sit up and ensure that they have criminal codes working. How do I put it? The system where ethics must be observed strictly and enforced. When disciplinary action should be taken against the perpetrators of these, both teachers and students. The GES has really failed us, I'm telling you, big time.
Okay.
They have failed us.
So on this note,
yes,
we've heard, and it is all over the news, that the boy is being arraigned before court today.
Yeah.
And although he was dismissed from the school, the education ministry has reversed her decision concerning his dismissal. But then the housemaster, who was also present as at the time the act was ongoing, has been relieved of his position pending investigation. After investigation tells that indeed he is worthy to occupy that same position again, then they give it back to him. But then molesting has been something that has been ongoing in our schools. And people take it to be normal. I'm sure even you, Mr. Joseph, you were once molested when you went to the senior high school.
Exactly.
Should we take it as something normal?
Right.
If we shouldn't take it as something normal, what should be done exactly by NGOs such as the Human Rights Reporters to help stop some of these activities in our schools?
Well, we don't have the power to stop these things entirely. Now, what our work stands for, what we do at HRRG is to expose these things to light. In the past, I wrote an article which shed light on violence in schools, thinking that because it happened in Anoije and happened elsewhere, which I have painted in my picture, I've reflected in my story. But yet, we thought that the authorities will move into that school to also take action. We did not hear anything. So if our organization's role...
You wrote to them?
Yes, we wrote to them. But based on all that they have come out with, they say they have sat down, they have investigated, they saw that the teachers are first-time offenders, so they couldn't punish them. They just made them to sign a bond of good behavior, and they later on allowed them to continue their work. I mean, will this serve as a deterrent to others? Because they feel, even if it happened, one of them was even bold to say, this thing will not go anywhere. And it's true, it did not go anywhere. So if we are able to bring these things out to light, we have done our work. We prompt the authorities to take action. And in the end, nothing is done. Has it not made our work difficult? Can you say that we are not doing our job? Yes, we are doing our job. But it behoves on the authorities to also take action and ensure that they nip this thing in the bud. The people who are offenders are punished to serve as a deterrent to others. You set up, you ban this thing. They flouted your ban on caning, corporal punishment and caning and all that in schools. But yet they are flouting it every day. The teachers are flouting it. Now students have also joined the bandwagon. And if the GS and the Ministry of Education didn't step the right foot up, these things will continue to escalate. In my article, I said we should watch out. It's a looming danger. Something must be done. As if I am a prophet. These things are happening now at the full glare of light for everyone to see. It tells you that if the authorities don't do what they are supposed to do, then definitely all these things will become the outcome of the day. Okay. Yesterday, I think I watched you descending so heavily on school guidance and counseling coordinators.
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me to say, sometimes when you watch these people, they're also doing their work. It's not as if all is dark and gloomy. But you see, sometimes realizing that the population, they don't have much of them, they have not employed much of them, they are not being their capacities are not well filled, resources were not provided to them. Let's say a ratio 1, now the population stands at 1 guidance counselor, facilitator, to about 200,000 student population. If you were in their position, well, what can you do? Because the population is great. At least we need much more hands. So they should recruit much of these guidance coordinators, counseling coordinators, and train them, equip them with resources so that they can work. They may be teaching and doing this job. It's not easy. So for them, let's be low on them. Okay. Let us not descend on them heavily, because that's it.
Okay. So you are saying that government must endeavor to recruit more of the guidance and counseling coordinators, as well as resource them in order to enable them work. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, I want to know, other concerned stakeholders are saying that following the incidents that occurred at Adisador College, it is still ongoing. Henceforth, government should endeavor to shut down or abolish boarding schools in Ghana. Do you support that stance?
Oh, for that one, I don't think it's possible. See, so if you shut down these boarding houses and the student population, where would the people stay? Assuming I'm living in Accra and I have to travel all the way to Techiman to come in school, and there's no accommodation. Look at that. The population is great. Where am I going to stay before I can attend school? You see the problem. So that will not hold. It is just a figment of somebody's imagination, and I don't support that. I don't really support that. Yeah.
Following the attitude of the student, we know that the moral background of the student also counts.
Yeah.
Aside the guidance and counseling coordinators who may be in one way or the other inefficient in administering their duties, does the society have a role to play in this kind of character reformation of the child?
Sure.
And how?
Yeah, so parents are supposed to, collaborate with teachers. And how do I put it? People who are key in environment, traditional authorities, priests, reverend ministers, and all that have a role to play. Remember, I said something from the beginning, or in the beginning, that the environment that children grow up in also expose them to violence. So the environment must be free of violence, devoid of violence. Okay, if they're living in homes, parents should know that they have children over there. Even if they have issues, they shouldn't do something in front of their children, because domestic violence is rare in houses now. Parents, men are beating women, women are molesting men. In all these abuses, we know it could be emotional abuse, it could be sexual abuse, it could be psychological, it could be economic abuse. So we see all these abuses day in, day out in houses, and children are witness to all this. And if they should also grow up, they demonstrate all this. If they go to school, they watch all this. And even in the school environment, some people call themselves seniors. So with the least mistake, you'll be bullied. They want to show off. It means the headmaster or the head teacher, the guidance and the counseling coordinators must also do their work in schools. At least talk to them. And you see, there should be this kind of open this thing. I'm saying that the children should be empowered to report incident of bullying, and there should be doors open for them to come and report such cases. And when such cases are reported to them, they shouldn't wait. They should take action and investigate and punish the perpetrators. If they have been doing that, perhaps in that school, this is not the first time it is happening, because they have not captured it on video. Meaning it is something that is endemic and happening. So that boy was so emboldened, because he knows that even if he commits this crime, nothing will be done. So it points out to the fact that the teachers over there, the headmaster, they are not doing their job. If it is somewhere, we will not suggest that they bring the headmaster back. Maybe they should fire him. Yes, his head should roll in the school, so that other schools will also look at that. And when something is going, they will check up on the students and ensure that they don't go that tangent. Yeah. Because where there is violence in schools, you can see the environment will not be friendly. Teaching and learning, and students will always absent themselves in schools. Remember, I said something that it is not only physical abuse or bullying. You understand? We have some emotional, sexual, other things are happening, and it makes the environment very unfriendly for students to learn. That kind of environment for them to learn and thrive. So there's so much has to be done, and I would suggest that disciplinary actions must be enforced promptly in schools. Code of ethics must be observed strictly. There should be school-wide campaigns that can foster empathy, discourage aggression, and promote peaceful conflict resolution among students. There should be a concerted effort from parents, teachers, and administrators and policymakers to quell this upsurge of bullying and other violence that are treated to students in schools. And then the training of school guidance and counseling coordinators should be equipped with resources to work with. For all that, the parental guidance and is also key. So these are